The moment Zoe appeared on the second layer, a wave of pressure immediately hit the three of them. As a result, Qihu and Hongdi were immediately injured. Meanwhile, Wang Lin, who had already realized that someone was following them, was able to avoid Zoe when he arrived there. Then Qihu, who recognized Zoe's identity, said, "Zoe from the Five Elements sect." Hearing that, Zoe smiled and asked, "Boy from the giant demon clan, do you know me?" Hearing that, Qihu said that Qihu had known Zoe's name since he was young. Qihu knew the names of the cultivators above soul transformation, who were on planet Suzaku. Then Zoe looked at Wang Lin, and said that Wang Lin's reaction was very fast, and had already noticed Zoe's existence. Hearing that, Wang Lin said that he could only feel Zoe a little. Zoe told the three of them that the jade coffin treasure there had been taken by Zoe, and he told the three of them to leave there immediately. Hearing that, Qihu did not refuse and immediately nodded. Meanwhile, Hongdi continued to stare at the puddle leading to the third layer. Zoe smiled and told the three of them that there was still a third layer below them. If the three of them were not afraid of death, they could try to enter the third layer, and the puddle was the entrance. After Zoe said that, Sun Tai suddenly appeared from the sky. Zoe, who saw Sun Tai in the sky, he asked what Sun Tai's purpose was for continuing to follow Zoe. Sun Tai laughed and said that he had no intention of anything, and said that he was only interested in the third layer. Hearing that, Zoe immediately entered the puddle to enter the third layer. Sun Tai, who saw Zoe enter, he immediately followed Zoe into the puddle leading to the third layer. Meanwhile, Hongdi, who did not want to return without results, Hongdi also immediately entered the puddle leading to the third layer, and hoped to get something there. Seeing them leave, Qihu asked if Wang Lin wanted to enter the third layer, or if he wanted to go back. Hearing this, Wang Lin asked who Zoe really was. Hearing this, Qihu sent a voice transmission, and told Wang Lin that Zoe was one of the soul transformation cultivators on planet Suzaku, and his cultivation level was very high. Then Qihu invited Wang Lin to go together to the third layer. Hearing this, Wang Lin nodded, and the two of them immediately entered the pool of water towards the third layer. Not long after, they all arrived at the third layer, which was filled with crystals. The crystals emitted very abundant celestial spiritual energy, which was everywhere. Then the three of them immediately collected the celestial spiritual energy there, with the treasures they had. The three of them continued to focus on collecting the celestial spiritual energy there. Meanwhile, not far from the three of them, Zoe was very annoyed with Sun Tai, who kept following him. Zoe warned Sun Tai to stop following him, and said that there was a lot of celestial spiritual energy there, but instead of Sun Tai collecting the celestial spiritual energy there, Sun Tai continued to follow Zoe. Sun Tai also said that Zoe had the scent of death, so he would continue to follow Zoe. Hearing that, Zoe immediately used a technique, and a vortex appeared. The vortex immediately made the crystals around him break, and were immediately sucked into the vortex. Sun Tai, who wanted to be sucked into the vortex, immediately took out a coffin, and immediately stood on the coffin. Then Sun Tai launched a large palm that immediately hit the vortex. Instantly the third layer immediately vibrated, and made the crystals there shattered into pieces. Space cracks appeared in the sky, and caused all the celestial spiritual energy there to be sucked into the space cracks. Then Zoe said that if they fought, then the fragments of the heavenly realm would collapse. Zoe explained that there were 6 overlapping fragments of the heavenly realm. If one of the fragments collapsed, then all 6 would collapse as well. At that time, all of them who were there would not be able to survive and would die. Hearing this, Sun Tai was shocked, and immediately appeared behind Hongdi body. Sun Tai would borrow Hongdi body and control Hongdi body, to fight with Zoe. Instantly a black smoke entered Hongdi body. Hongdi was shocked, and she realized that she could not fight Sun Tai, who was in the soul transformation stage. Hongdi warned Sun Tai, if he killed Hongdi, then Suzaku would kill Sun Tai, because Hongdi was Suzaku's core disciple. Hearing this, Sun Tai said that he would not kill Hongdi. Then Sun Tai told Zoe to control someone too. However, Zoe asked what Sun Tai really wanted from Zoe. Sun Tai said that he wanted Zoe's celestial corpse. Zoe was immediately furious, because Ting A's corpse was the most precious thing to Zoe. Even Zoe would not hesitate to kill anyone who dared to steal his Ting A. Then Zoe immediately appointed Qihu to be controlled. Qihu, who did not dare to refuse, he immediately flew towards Zoe. Instantly a colorful aura appeared, and entered Qihu's body. Qihu's strength immediately rose to the final stage of soul formation. Meanwhile, Sun Tai immediately told Wang Lin to leave there. Hearing that, Wang Lin immediately left as ordered by Sun Tai. However, when Wang Lin was about to leave there, Hongdi immediately told Sun Tai to kill Wang Lin. Hongdi said that if Sun Tai could kill Wang Lin, then Hongdi would not fight, and let Sun Tai control Hongdi body. Hearing that, Sun Tai immediately launched an attack towards Wang Lin. Meanwhile, Wang Lin immediately took out a prohibition flag that could trigger a heavenly calamity. Sun Tai was shocked when he saw the prohibition flag in Wang Lin's hand, which could trigger a heavenly calamity. Sun Tai thought that if Wang Lin used the flag, the fragment of the heavenly realm would collapse, and everyone there would definitely die. Sun Tai immediately stopped his attack. Then Wang Lin said that he would watch their fight. Qihu immediately turned into a giant, while Zoe who was behind Qihu sat down and closed his eyes. Meanwhile, Hongdi consciousness disappeared, and her eyes turned red. Meanwhile, Sun Tai's real body sat on the coffin, and her eyes were also closed. Then Qihu began to move forward, and immediately launched an attack. Meanwhile, Hongdi immediately moved her hand, which immediately a bow appeared, and Hongdi immediately launched the arrow towards Qihu. Qihu's body that was hit immediately retreated and was injured. Then Hongdi took out 5 animal element spirits, which currently left 4 animals. Meanwhile, the axe image on Qihu's forehead flickered, and immediately turned into a large axe. Zoe also said, "My domain is crazy. Because I have gone crazy because of love, I have reached the epitome of madness. Qihu, I will use your body to display my domain that has not been displayed in more than 1,000 years. Even if you die, you can die in peace." Then Zoe's domain immediately appeared around Qihu's body. Meanwhile, Hongdi immediately took out a flower petal, plucked 2 stamens, and plucked all the remaining petals. After that, Hongdi threw it to the 4 spirit beasts, which immediately created a very strong vortex. Then Qihu immediately swung his axe towards the vortex of the 4 beasts. Meanwhile, the beast raised one of its claws which was immediately destroyed, when hit by Qihu's axe. Then 2 stamens appeared from the vortex, and Qihu swung his axe again, which immediately destroyed the stamens. After that Qihu's axe was immediately destroyed by the attack of the beast's horn, and the beast also disappeared. Sun Tai who was sitting on the coffin was immediately injured, and bleeding from his mouth. Meanwhile, Qihu's body was no longer controlled, and regained consciousness. However, at this time Qihu was already injured, and felt pain in his body. Meanwhile, Zoe's original soul returned to Zoe's original body. But suddenly a black claw appeared, and lunged towards Zoe. Seeing this, Zoe immediately dodged to the side. However, the black claw still hit Zoe's stomach, which was immediately injured. However, the target of the claw was not Zoe's body, but Zoe's storage bag. Zoe's storage bag that was hit by the claw was immediately destroyed, and immediately the pagoda containing Ting A's corpse came out. The claw grabbed the pagoda, and immediately retreated towards Sun Tai. Seeing this, Zoe was very angry. Zoe ignored the wound in his stomach, and immediately Zoe's original soul came out and immediately chased after the stolen pagoda. Zoe said, "Ting A, I won't let anyone steal you from me. I won't let it." Meanwhile, Zoe's original body couldn't move, and the blood in his stomach kept coming out. Zoe was willing to let his body be destroyed just for Ting A, because Ting A was the most precious thing to Zoe. Meanwhile, Zoe's original soul continued to chase after the stolen pagoda. Sun Tai who was on the coffin opened his eyes, and said, "Zoe, you are indeed strong. If you were given 1,000 more years, you might be able to ascend to the ascendant stage. But you don't know that I have 3 souls. You only killed one of my souls, so how can I die?" Then the claw hand carrying the pagoda behind Sun Tai turned into a young man, and it was Sun Tai's 3rd soul. Meanwhile, Zoe said, "Give Ting A back to me." Sun Tai laughed and said, "Zoe, you even gave this corpse a name. This is a celestial corpse. I'm afraid that when she was born, you were still in the reincarnation cycle." Then Sun Tai's 3rd soul took out Ting A's corpse from the pagoda in his hand. When Ting A's corpse appeared, Sun Tai was shocked when he saw Ting A's beautiful face. Wang Lin who was watching from a distance, made Wang Lin's heart tremble when he saw Ting A's corpse. Ting A's corpse seemed to have a very strong attraction, which made people who saw it want to have it, and want to steal it. However, because Wang Lin's mentality was very strong, he was able to immediately come to his senses. Meanwhile, Qihu was also affected, and his body unconsciously walked towards Ting A's corpse. However, not long after, Qihu also immediately came to his senses. Even Hongdi who was also a woman was also slightly affected, but because Hongdi was a woman, she was able to come to her senses immediately. Then Sun Tai turned his gaze away from Ting A's corpse, and he said, "This woman must have been an important figure in the heavenly realm when she was alive. Even I was fascinated by her." Then Sun Tai immediately entangled Zoe's original soul with chains, which immediately surrounded Zoe's original soul like a prison. Sun Tai said, "Zoe, I used the corpse sect treasure, which was made to seal the original soul, to take this girl's corpse. There is no way for you to escape." After that, Sun Tai's 3rd soul threw Ting A's corpse towards Sun Tai's original body, and the 3rd soul immediately went back into Sun Tai's body. After that, Sun Tai took Ting A's corpse away and flew into the sky. Seeing this, Zoe was very angry, and tried to free himself from the chains. Zoe said, "Give Ting A back to me." Seeing this, Sun Tai said, "You are really crazy. Zoe, if you return to your body now, you can still survive. If your original soul does not have a body, then you will die in the heavenly realm." After saying that, Sun Tai flew even faster, to return to the second layer. Seeing this, Zoe became even more angry, and suddenly Zoe's original soul began to burn. His original soul began to turn into spots, and began to come out of the chains. Seeing this, Sun Tai was shocked when he saw Zoe burning his original soul. "Burning your original soul? You're crazy." When someone burns their original soul, their strength will increase rapidly for a while. However, after doing so, that person will die. At this time, Zoe was willing to die to save Ting A's corpse. Zoe's strength, which was originally at the middle stage of soul transformation, had now increased to the late stage of soul transformation. Then Zoe's original soul reunited with his original body, and immediately shot towards Sun Tai. Zoe said, "Return Ting A to me." Then Zoe immediately launched an attack towards Sun Tai. Zoe's powerful attack immediately caused spatial cracks to appear in the sky, and the fragments of the third layer of the heavenly realm began to collapse. Seeing this, Chihu was shocked and began to fly into the sky, to return to the second layer. Meanwhile, Hongdi immediately followed Chihu from behind. Then Sun Tai immediately took out his third soul to block Zoe's attack. However, when Sun Tai's third soul appeared, Zoe was able to easily destroy Sun Tai's third soul. Zoe said, "Give Ting A back to me." Sun Tai, who saw his third soul destroyed, Sun Tai was very scared, and he shouted, "Crazy man." Sun Tai, who did not want to die, he immediately returned Ting A's body to Zoe. Zoe immediately caught Ting A's body, and said, "Ting A, no one can take you away, no one." Meanwhile, the collapse of the third layer continued to spread, and the cracks in the sky increased. On the other hand, Wang Lin, who continued to pay attention to Hongdi, Wang Lin tried to take advantage of the opportunity to kill Hongdi, because Hongdi was currently very weak. Wang Lin immediately shot towards Hongdi. Chihu, who saw this, did not say anything, and continued to fly into the sky to return to the second layer. Because according to Chihu, escaping from there was the most important thing for now. Meanwhile, Hongdi, who wanted to leave the place, was shocked when she saw Wang Lin shooting towards her. Hongdi was currently unable to fight Wang Lin, because her possessions had been used up a lot. Hongdi shouted, "Xingyo, if you kill me, then the Suzaku will not let you go." Hearing this, Wang Lin laughed and said, "Hongdi, a genius like you shouldn't threaten me like that." After saying that, Wang Lin took out a prohibition flag, and a spear immediately appeared in Wang Lin's hand. "Hongdi, don't you want to fight me again?" Then Wang Lin immediately launched the spear in his hand toward Hongdi. Hongdi, who saw the spear shooting toward him, he said, "Xingyo, are you crazy? This place has collapsed. If you don't escape now, you won't be able to get out of here." Hongdi immediately took out a flying sword to block Wang Lin's spear attack. When the sword collided with the spear, it immediately shattered into pieces. Meanwhile, Wang Lin's spear continued to charge toward Hongdi. Wang Lin laughed and said, "My life and death are none of your business. After I kill you, I can still escape from here." Seeing this, Hongdi immediately used her domain to block Wang Lin. Wang Lin thought that this time Wang Lin had to kill Hongdi, because Hongdi had tried to kill Wang Lin several times. When Wang Lin's spear was about to hit Hongdi, Hongdi immediately used the jade bracelet on her hand to block Wang Lin's spear. The spears immediately collided and shattered. Meanwhile, Hongdi's domain immediately affected Wang Lin, but Wang Lin continued to move his body, and immediately took out 9 wooden carvings, which immediately released the time domain. Meanwhile, Hongdi was also injured after blocking Wang Lin's spear attack. At this time, Hongdi was really scared, and said, "Xingyo, I am a core disciple of Suzaku. If you kill me, you will definitely die." Hearing this, Wang Lin ignored Hongdi's words, and Wang Lin immediately launched the time domain toward Hongdi, and Wang Lin launched 2 fingers. Under the effect of the time domain, Hongdi's body slowed down. Hongdi was furious, and immediately used the jade bracelet on her hand, which immediately gave off a bright light. Instantly the time domain collapsed, and Wang Lin felt pain in his finger. Then the jade bracelet formed a black hole like a portal. Hongdi said, "Xingyo, I will remember you. You are the one who forced me to give up 1 level of cultivation to use this bracelet. I will remember this." After saying that, Hongdi began to fly toward the black hole. Hongdi's jade bracelet could create a portal that could transport Hongdi back to planet Suzaku safely. However, when using it, Hongdi's cultivation level would drop 1 level. Seeing Hongdi was about to escape, Wang Lin immediately shouted, "Hongdi, look at what this is." Wang Lin immediately took out senior Hongdi's fan treasure. Hongdi, who saw the fan, was immediately shocked, and her body stopped for a moment. Meanwhile, Wang Lin immediately took advantage of the opportunity, and immediately threw the fan forward. Then Wang Lin's original soul immediately came out to grab the fan, and launched one fan feather at Hongdi, which immediately exploded. Hongdi, who was hit by the explosion, became weaker, and immediately retreated into the portal. However, Wang Lin's original soul immediately shot towards Hongdi. Seeing this, Hongdi immediately blocked Wang Lin's attack, which immediately weakened Wang Lin's original soul. However, Wang Lin's original soul immediately clawed towards Hongdi's body, and made Hongdi's right hand break off. Meanwhile, Hongdi immediately entered the portal, and managed to escape. Seeing this, Wang Lin was very upset when he saw Hongdi was able to escape. Then Wang Lin's original soul returned to Wang Lin's original body, and Wang Lin immediately stored the remaining fan, and stored Hongdi's severed right hand. After that, Wang Lin immediately flew towards the second layer to save himself, because the third layer continued to collapse.